Hey everyone, welcome back. So in this Playwright tutorial, I'm going to discuss about how you're going to work with the static dropdowns in Playwright, right? So now what are static dropdowns? What are single select, multi-select? I'll cover everything about the static dropdowns, how you're going to handle them in this particular video. And in the next video, I'm going to cover about the dynamic dropdowns and how you're going to handle them. So if you see this particular page, salesforce.com, the trial page, and you will see this job title, the employees, right? The region, you will see that these are basically some of the drop down elements, right? So if I right click and inspect on these drop down or this drop down, you will see that this type of drop down, okay, if a drop down starts with a select tag, right? So you'll see the select tag, and if I'll expand that, you will see there are multiple options there. Okay, so these are there is a select tag in HTML and you have multiple options there, that's the static drop down. And these drop down can be single select. For example, this one is single select. You can't select multiple values out of this drop down, but then there are multi-select drop downs as well. And if you see this particular page here, you will see that there are multiple select, right? So if I right click and inspect this, you will see that it still is select tag, okay, with the options below it, but I can do a multi-select, right? So you'll see that it's a select tag, okay, on the page, and then there are multiple options, right? So 1, 2, 3, these are all option tags and the values are there. So in the multi-select drop down, what I can do is I can simply press Control on my keyboard and I can select multiple values, right? So each automation tool, there is an option in Selenium as well to handle these type of drop down, and in Playwright as well. It's pretty simple and easy to handle any of these drop downs. There are multiple ways to handle it. Okay, so if I go to Playwright documentation, I'll simply go ahead and search. You will see that I'll say select, okay, option. This is the method that will help you to basically, in the API section, it will help you to select the option, right? So you'll see that this method waits for actionability check, waits until all specified options are present in select element and select these options, right? So this is the method that will help us to go ahead and select any of the option from the select tag, right? Now the usage is very simple. So you simply first identify the locator and you can select based on multiple attributes. For example, you can select based on the value, based on the label, and based on the index as well. Now what is value, what is label, and what is index? So if you go here, you will see there is a tag value, right? So in here there is a value which has a job title. There is a value which is sales underscore manager underscore ANZ. That's the value. And the sales manager, the visible text that you see here is actually the label, right? So you can select with any of the option, with the value that is specified there, okay, within the value tag or the visible text. So sometimes the value and visible text are same, you'll find them similar as well, but then there is a difference as well. For example, here these two are different, okay, and depending, if say for example they are same, you will feel like, okay, whether you use value or the text, it will work absolutely fine. But then in case if you are using value, you have to make sure that you are using value in case both of them are different. For index starts with 0, so you have to make sure whichever option you are going to choose, you choose accordingly, and I'll explain all of those in a moment. Okay, so if I go ahead and simply let me create one of the tests, okay, so I'll say let me copy one of that test and I'll paste it here, and I'll rename this and I'll say select static dropdown. Okay, and now here what we are doing is we will simply remove everything else because we are working with the Salesforce website. So what I'll do, I'll change the name of the test. I'll say select dropdown demo, and let me paste the Salesforce page here, the link here. Okay, so now what we are going to do in order to use select or select the option, first thing is we have to first identify the locator, right? For example, I have to select different job titles. So first thing is let me identify what is the locator for this, right? So if I simply see this select tag has an ID and the name. So if I simply copy the locator, just right click on this highlighted area here and copied the XPath, I'll simply go ahead and paste it. You will see that it has taken the user title. This looks dynamic because there is a hyphen and then there is some value with number as well. So what we'll do is we'll maybe stick to the name, which is user title, right? That's highly unlikely that's going to change. So I'll change it to name and then use name instead. And I'll put this in single quotes so that I can use double quotes if need be in my script. Okay, so this is the locator for this particular job title drop down. I'll use this, I'll copy it, and then I'll simply go and say, okay, page dot locator, right? And we are going to locate this particular web element, right? So page dot locator, and this XPath is going to locate that particular drop down. Okay, now on this drop down, I can go ahead and use the method select option, right? And use either value, label, or index, any of it. Okay, so I'll use them, all of them. So I'll select by value one, I'll select by label one of the drop down, and I'll select by index one of the drop down. So here if I say dot, I'll say select, right? So you'll see select option appeared. Okay, and here I can simply go ahead and you'll see that here there are multiple options. If you scroll down as well in this highlighted thing here, you'll see select option. You'll see if I choose blue, that will be basically either value or label. So I can simply pass that blue, or I can specifically mention the value or label. Okay, I'll keep it separate so that it's clear that whether I'm using value or label. So you can specify value colon and then provide the value, or label colon and then provide the label value, or similarly the index. Okay, so let me start with the value first. Okay, so in the select option, you go ahead with the curly brackets and you say value, okay, colon, and whatever the value is against that particular option, right? So for example, I want to select the sales manager. Okay, so what is the value that is associated with the sales manager? You will see it's sales underscore manager underscore ANZ. So I'll copy that and I'll, in the double quotes, let me put on that particular value in here. Okay, so this is how you're going to select based on the value. Now if I have to select based on the visible text, okay, so I'll say instead of value, what we are going to use, we are going to basically say label, right? So I'll say label, and whatever label is there against a particular drop down that I want to select. Okay, so for example, if I go here, I want to select some other, say customer service manager, I want to select. So what is the label? Label is customer service manager, which is basically visible text there. Okay, so I'll copy that and I'll paste the label in there. Single quote, double quote shouldn't matter. All right, so that's why I have used the double quotes there, but you can use single quotes as well. Now the index. Okay, if I want to select based on the index, simply choose it to index and then provide the index as number. It's not a string, so you have to provide the number. Now, as I have mentioned, index starts with 0. So basically the first value that is there, for example, this sales manager will be, I think this will be number 1, because there is an option which is disabled as well. So this will be 0, 1, 2, 3. And if I have to choose this one, so it should be 4th index for CXO VP General Manager. Okay, so let's try that. So I'll say 4 as an index there. Okay, and this will be real quick. So let me quickly save it. And in order to make it wait a little bit, so you can see that selection, the last selection. So what I'll do is I'll simply use a method. There is a method page dot wait for timeout, and then I'll say just 5 seconds. Okay, so it waits on that particular page. Now let me quickly go ahead and execute this so you can see all of this in action. So browser is launched. Okay, so looks like, okay, there is a timeout. It exceeded because the page load took a while, right? So I'll put some wait in there. So what I'll do is I'll simply say test dot slow. There is a method slow, right? So if I simply add that to particular test, right, so it will mark the test as slow and it will give in triple time to default timeout, right? So at the moment it's like 30, so that timeout will triple, so that because of the timeout this test should not fail, right? And I have put this wait for timeout 5 seconds after each step, so you can basically go ahead and see everything in action. All right, so let me quickly execute again and see that if everything runs fine. So you can see that it takes a while to load this particular page. The reason being there are a lot of options within these drop downs. So you'll see sales manager is now selected. After 5 seconds, the second option should get selected, customer service, and third one based on the index should get selected. You'll see CXOVP has been selected as well. So the whole failure was because of the timeout. So in case there is a timeout, your application is slow. It was not the script issue. It's not the script issue. Sometimes application itself is slow. So you have to make sure that you adjust the timeout, and there are some wait mechanism which we'll understand in the advanced sections, so that your script waits until it's able to figure out whether the failure is because of the script issue, test issue, or it's because of the application slowness. Okay, so that's all for this video. In the next video, I'll cover how you're going to work with the multi-select dropdown. The approach is similar, but I'll segregate this in a separate video. So that's all for this video. Thank you very much for watching.